بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Welcome to Fiqh al-Muamalat series. Today's topic is basically introduction to Fiqh al-Muamalat. So we want to know what is Fiqh al-Muamalat in the first place. So we can say in a very simple way that Fiqh al-Muamalat is a set of Sharia rules and principles that govern the human being transactions or financial transaction, precisely related to sales and lease and a partnership and investment, meaning that the different transactions taking place in the market, being selling, buying, partnership, leasing, agency, and so on and so forth. Those financial transactions are governed by a set of rules of Sharia. Sometimes a very precise ruling that it is permissible or otherwise. Sometimes they are governed by general principles such as justice and equity and so on and so forth. So in other words, that people who are doing transactions in the market, buying and selling, should observe those Sharia rules in order to ensure that their transactions, their contract that has been concluded is valid, and as a result of that, it takes its effect on the subject matter, whereby, for example, in the case of sales, the price goes to the sellers and the goods goes to the buyer, meaning that everyone has a legitimacy to take over the related subject matter. So that's the Fiqh al-Muamalat. Again, it is a set of rules, set of principles related to business trade. And of course, it could be extended in the entire market, because sometimes the market is traditional market, like going to the supermarket, buying and selling, and sometimes the market is regulated market, that the Islamic Financial Transactions. Hence, the rules of Fiqh al-Muamalat as well are extended to the different transactions that could be carried out by the Islamic financial institutions, such as Islamic banks, takaful operators, fund managements, and so on and so forth. Those who are offering Islamic finance facilities as well, their transactions are governed by this set of Sharia rules and principles to ensure that the transactions is a Sharia compliance. So if you would like to know the affiliation of this Fiqh al-Muamalat to the body of knowledge of Sharia, we can start by looking at the structure of the religion. If you look at the Islam, we can say it is divided in three major compartments, or three major classes, or three major components. Of course, this classification is just to understand the specializations and the affiliations of the Sharia ruling, but of course the Islam is one body of knowledge. It is one body which is very integrated. Similar to the Islamic financial institutions, you have what's so-called the risk management department, HR departments, banking departments, wealth management departments, audit departments, but at the end of the day, the Islamic institutions is one organization. All the affiliation are integrated. It is the same here for the illustration of Sharia, is just to understand how is the structure of Sharia or the religion of Islam. So the first one is the faith, and the second one is the law, which is called Sharia as well, and the third one is the ethics of the akhlaq. As for the faith, basically it's talk about God, talks about the hereafter, talks about the angels, prophets, hereafter, paradise, hellfire, and so on and so forth. Talks about information that beyond testing, beyond the capacity of the intellect, and normally in order for you to comply with that, you have to submit, you have to believe. You didn't see the paradise, you didn't see the angel, but you have to submit and believe in it. This is why it is related to the faith. The second one is basically the akhlaq, which is the ethics, rules of behavior, what is wrong and what is right. And the third one is basically the law or the Sharia, the law of the Sharia. So when it comes to Fiqh al-Muamalat, It is not under the purview of faith, and it is not under the purview of ethics, but it is under the purview of Sharia or the law, because we are talking about the legal aspects that govern the business transactions of a human being in a specific market. Now, if we pick up the component of Sharia and we zoom into it, we will find that Sharia also, from a legal connotation and legal angle, it is divided into two as well. The first one is Usul al-Fiqh, or Islamic jurisprudence, which talk about the methodology and how the Sharia rules have been derived. And the second component, we are talking about the Fiqh, which is the legal and the Sharia rules. Now, the affiliations of Fiqh al-Muamalat, it is not under Usul al-Fiqh, but it is under the Fiqh. Now, if you want to zoom further into the Fiqh, we will see that the Fiqh is also divided into two major components. The first one is Fiqh al-Ibadat, or devotional activity. This is the rules that govern the relationship between a human being and God, such as a praying, a fasting, a pilgrimage, and so on and so forth. And the second component is, we call it Fiqh al-Muamalat, which are the rules that govern the relationship among human beings themselves. So Fiqh al-Muamalat is not under Fiqh al-Ibadat, but it is under the Fiqh al-Muamalat. Now, if we zoom into Fiqh al-Muamalat, we will see that Fiqh al-Muamalat also has different sections. They have sections of criminal law, they have sections of a family law, they have sections of, for example, politics, social, and so on and so forth. So the Fiqh Muamalat is one of these sections. So it is related to al-Buyu', it is related to business and commerce. So as you can see, if you want to draw a line, so we will have Islam, then goes to Sharia or the law, then goes to the Fiqh, then goes to Fiqh al-Muamalat, then we go to the Fiqh al-Muamalat al-Maliyah, meaning the financial transaction or the Islamic financial transaction. That's how is the affiliations of Fiqh al-Muamalat in the body of knowledge of Sharia. And of course, this Fiqh al-Muamalat deals with the rules of business and trade, rules of business and finance, and overall anything falls under business and finance and trades, buying, selling, partnership, investments, banking, and so on and so forth, basically will be under the purview of Fiqh al-Muamalat. And as you can see, the Islamic banking business operation and practice get its source and relevancy and legality and basically sources from the Fiqh al-Muamalat, which basically determine what is right, what is wrong, what is permissible, what is not. So that's the brief introductions about Fiqh al-Muamalat that we are going to discuss and present in a different session, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. With that, thank you very much, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.